given me as we were playing ball. No one knew where I came from. But this is the house. I was born in New Jersey, but this is the house I was raised in, here in Williamsburg. And there's a tree here that was never here. I don't know how it grew. But this is the tunnel we used to run through. There's a room exactly right here that I lived in, my own personal room. And then we had a back. I had a coop on the roof, and I was fly birds. And I had my friend's Cavalito here lived next door. There was a known dog named Blackie from our neighborhood. Next door here was a Cool Man ice cream parlor factory. I was always get the first ice cream before they came out and give anybody else their cones. This is the house we grew up in. Me and my 9 siblings, my brothers and sisters, you know. And a drastic thing happened in this very same neighborhood. That we had to move, you know, as far as I was concerned for the children, we moved to Bedford-Stuyvesant. I went to school right here in PS 84 down the block. We used to race from Grand Street all the way down to the East River, all the way down with homemade skateboards and go-karts made out of shopping cart wheels, old skates we used back in the 70s. We used to race. The last one to get there. It was a dangerous ride because there's a White Avenue, there's a speed sign, a light that's there that, you know, we could try to catch before any traffic come by. Until one day my brother saw me. He called me. There was a shorter man in the park. They were playing against some other rivals from Telluride Projects. I wasn't really interested in playing. You know, I was just riding my bikes. I had about 4 or 5 pigeons. You know, Dale was the first one to taste the waters of playing basketball. He went to Boys and Girls High. Paul went to that with me. From 84, I went to junior high school 50, then I went to automotive high school. Same puddle. This puddle been there for years. You know, we try to catch the ball before going in the water. It was the very same basketball court, rim, everything the same. And he was telling me to stand right here. And anybody come this way, block their shots. But every time I block the shot or rebound, I would lose the ball because they hit it out of my hand. They would yell, hold the ball, put your nails in it, put your nails in it. And I still know what he was talking about. So I wanted not to embarrass my brothers. So I'll get home, I'll get the scolding from him. You know, then he thought of an idea, because we had more games coming up that next weekend. And the Davis brothers were coming. These guys were pretty good. About 6 brothers, you know what I'm saying? And he had subs. And so I was sitting at home. He would turn to, it was the Boston Celtics, or the Lakers or 76ers in the playoffs at that time. He said, watch this guy. It was Dr. J. Watch this guy, watch this guy. So I watched him, and lo and behold, I ended up playing against Dr. J and getting a few tips from Dr. J. From that day on, I had promising offers from colleges. My game just increased from that point on. This is a local pool we used to come to when we was young. It's the only thing we had to go to. The neighborhood had, you know, Daddy was the swim instructor that taught us how to swim. You know, he wasn't too interested because, you know, it wasn't a future in swimming. You know, so we were always dreaming about what we want to be, what we want to do. But this was a place to go. This is junior high school 50, where I was discovered by and he told my mother he wanted us to go to this junior high school, you know, and to pursue our career as dean. Mr. Rogers was the dean. Man, this guy was serious. He had a paddle. He catch you, get a couple of whacks. This was how we was brought up. The neighbor couldn't scold us. So he was given permission to discipline us, you know? And that's what was the village was all about. You know, take the village to raise a child. But I was very rebellious, you know, and I didn't know the talent I had, how important education was. Now this was a step from 84 to junior high school 50, where I was becoming a man, you know what I'm saying, so to speak. And at this door right here, we would just sneak out. You know, I was the tallest of the crew we had, and we would sneak out. I was the last one to leave because, you know, I was too obvious. To play hooky, we cut out this last door, hit Robin Street, and head to Williamsburg Bridge Plaza to go over to Delancey Street. The hooky plan that I did, it cost me, because after basketball there was nothing I was able to do. It was like a fish out of water. So playing hooky, you know, didn't benefit me anything. And I had to, now later on in life, I had to learn how to read a contract. I had to learn how to budget my money. These are very important. English classes are very important. Math classes are very important. How to speak, and things of that nature. This park here, at night, was not a place to be. You'll find dead bodies in here, you know, syringes. It's called People's Park. Notorious People's Park. I rival gang fights with the Southside Brothers, Outlaws, Unknown Bikers, Dimension Brothers. A lot of dance clubs that turned into gang violence. Before we were being transferred from the neighborhood of Brooklyn, from Williamsburg to Brooklyn, we hustled up over here to Williamsburg Bridge Plaza where all the bus terminal was. We catch the 44 bus, heads to Brooklyn to Alexander Hamilton on Albany Avenue. I wasn't doing too good in automotive high school. I wanted to decide to transfer. Be out of there. I had 3 years, a year left of my high school academics. 3 years wasted in automotive. You know, the sort of talent I had in basketball. You know, Coach Ray Haskins. My mother sent me to Alexander Hamilton, Jerry Reynolds, Peter Washington, Andre Irvin, just to name a few. This is the bus right here. We take the Notion Avenue, hustle our way out. Yeah, it was unfortunate that we had a crisis in the family, a situation in Williamsburg, so my mother moved out of Carey Scurry to Brooklyn, where my uncle was, Uncle Andrew, and she told him about a place here, 340 Clifton Place, and it was sad because I left my friends, you know, and I had a culture shock here because there were more black families than there was in Williamsburg, just a few black families in Williamsburg, and we moved right here, in 340 Clifton Place. It's boarded up now. You know, I guess they sold it. You know, it once was a shelter. You know, and we were all the way up to the 4th floor, apartment 19. This is it. I was hiking up the steps, working my legs. You know, that's where I got my jumping ability from. You know, this is it right here. You know, a lot of friends I see now. Coming around. What's going on, man?
All right.
Yeah, I was just reminiscing on the old building. Yeah, reminiscing on the old building right here.
Yeah.
Come up. One of the tenants lived in the building. You know, we always Why you keep running up the stairs, man? He didn't know what I was trying to do. We found it later on when he saw me in a Utah Jazz jersey.
Wow.
You know? Good talking to you, man.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, we finished. Greg want to talk about it.
So, here it is. You know, one day I had a dream of buying the building. This is where my mother lived, you know, senior citizen home, and wonder why she didn't want to never leave the neighborhood. I guess they get attached to it, you know. This is our little mansion.
He was a kid. He had a brother, Dale, that was always directing him and telling him which way to go. And if he didn't go that way, then Dale would get upset with him and knock him around. And get some time he was trying to play hooky from school, and Dale got him in. He was in automotive, and he wasn't doing well in there. And so Dale took him to Alexander Hamilton. I was working, and I didn't have no time to be bothered with that kind of stuff. But then some people would see me and tell me that he saw him going this way. He's supposed to have been going this way to school. But anyway, through Dale, they all played basketball. You know, went on up through basketball. He wasn't just a kid to get in the fights and things out in the street, but he just didn't follow rules too much, like, oh, you go to school every day and go this way, sometimes you'll go that way, you know, as some kids do. But then through Dale just followed him and made him go, beat him, you know. And for him to get the fuzz he did with the Jazz was because of Dale, you know, and other people that, you know, was after him.
Αγγέλου. Η ωραία backdoor για το Σκάρι και το εκπληκτικό κάρφωμα από τον Αμερικάνο. Κάνουν το σκορ 22-21, εδώ ο Carey Scurry δεν μπορεί να πάρει το rebound το Λιπηρίδη, συμφωνώ μου. Σωστά το Γιάννη ξαφνή για το Σκάρι, εκπληκτικό κάρφωμα δεύτερο στη συνέχεια από τον Αμερικάνο. 25-23 στους δύο.
It was a journey. We snuck over here one time to play against NA Rock. You didn't know about. I think Eddie said
we was on different place in NA Rock.
Yeah, no, we was in Williamsburg, and Eddie had set up a game against the NA Rock crew. Poppy Baldwin was the coach. Suge, Booty Pie, played against the sheriff, Sam Worthing, Pearl Washington, Fly Williams, and them. They brought everybody from everywhere, Uptown, Richie Adams, Walter Berry, Chris Mullins. They brought everybody from all over the place to play against us. And we beat them. We had to run back to Williamsburg. This before you came home. Because you always told us to stay on the stoop and don't get up the stoop. So we just shot back over there, and lo and behold, we happened to move some drastic crisis came in our family where we had to move from Williamsburg to Brooklyn, and out of safety, you know.
Well,
So
we were above the Bedford and Stuyvesant. We went back to Brooklyn.
Yeah, Bedford Stuyvesant. You know, and this is where we are. And then things started to change, you know. A lot of better talent came that we had to compete against. You know, and colleges came to office. A lot of college scouts was around the neighborhood. You know, and I went out to a junior college village, a visit to a junior college, and some discrepancies happened, and I was kidnapped from one college to another college. And it was a big thing on Clifton Place. The whole neighborhood had bottle sticks, you know. And I'm glad my mother was pretty nervous about the situation. It was just a scandal at the time. I went to school in northeastern Oklahoma, from a school from Mobley. You know, it was college scouts, you know. We was at Chattel at the time, you know. And out of care and concern, out of fear, my mother told me to go to LIU with my brother Paul, so I played alongside him. And I had 3.5 years after his busy left. I did 6 months in a junior college, got my GED, came back home. After that ordeal, and I just went to, got drafted in 1985 to the Utah Jazz from LIU. Everybody said, go to the draft, go to the draft. I didn't know what they were talking about. I was like, man, go where? I was looking for a job in the mall, Albee Square Mall. You know, I went to the draft. Cousars bought me a suit, a Pierre Cardin suit, and I went. Earl Monroe was my first agent. And we had Ron, the limousine driver.
Who was your first agent?
Earl Monroe.
Who was no first agent?
And he was. Alan Herman and Earl Monroe was my first agent, you know. And he was so occupied and busy with his Pretty Pearl records. I switched over to Joe Glass, who's no longer with us. And you know, it was a good thing for my little brothers, Willie and Moses Scurry. They watched me go from, you know, from an amateur to a professional ball player. So that inspired them to follow their brother's footsteps. You know, not as a role model, but as a role model. It's two different things, from a role model to a role model. A role model, if you follow me, I was incarcerated, did things like that. Off the court, I was doing things that, you know, that didn't mix with basketball. But a role model is like the 5 P's: proper preparation prevents poor performance, and I properly prepare myself, which is get proper rest, eat properly, you know, hit the weights and things like that, you know, for 82 games. And this is the name that these kids today should have: a role model, not a role model, because they don't see the situation that Kobe Bryant or Tiger Woods off the court they get into. They don't show that part. They show the glamorous part, which they, you know, Hall of Famers, you know, hitting 19 holes in the golf course. But there's issues outside of that, you know. And I had a dark side to my life. This is the Jazz jersey right here. First throwback. I want to get the Knicks one. I wore number 22 with Utah, 20 with the Knicks, and I was prepared to wear number 2 with the Houston Rockets. But due to my car accident, I was forced to retire. I was in Utah from 85 to 89.
You went to Chile?
Yeah, I was in South America, went to various countries in South America and in Europe. Went to Greece, France, Belgium,
that was before,
Brazil,
that was before you left.
Chile, Argentina, Peru, Venezuela. I had an offer to go back before I was incarcerated, but I decided not to take the offer. I wasn't allowed to leave the country. So today, the Hoopster journey is my story. You know, hopefully inspire the inner city youth not to go down the same road I took. You know, I ran the same streets, went to the same schools that they run to today, and they face the same adversities that I face. Hopefully they'll make a right decision not to, you know, cause them their own. It will become a pipeline to these prison systems, to overcrowded jails. You know, the importance of education is very important. You know, and just follow your passion. You know, and if real friends will not ask you to go do a crime or use drugs, you know, these are not your friends. You know, so. You know, and the guys, you know, we see, when I was growing up, we had, like, you know, it was different at the time. We had guys, the church, the pastor, the local store owner, Mr. Roosevelt on Stuyvesant Avenue. He would inspire us to go to school and go to school and being like young entrepreneurs. So we saw a lot more black faces in businesses. Shirley King's across the street on Quincy and Nostrand. You know, a lot of black-owned businesses that inspired us.
At that time, we owned Shirley King. At that time, Mr. Brown.
Mr. Brown, these are all black. Mr. Wilkins on Lafayette Nostrand. A lot of, we was inspired by these people. We saw a face that we can identify with. You know, so But these kids today have the role models of, you know, Flacco on the corner, or just, you know what I'm saying, these guys, you know, really important to education. I went in class with my history class, talking about looking on the map, looking at Brazil. I said, man, I ain't going to Brazil. I ended up going to Brazil, Chile, and other various countries I thought I would never see. So this opportunity I had to see the other side of the world. And these kids have the same opportunity. They're smarter today.
Speak to the kids right there.
Yeah, they're smarter today. And that's what I'm doing today, you know. Hopefully give them a direction, you know, and learn from me. You know, and it's the Hoopster journey. We'll be coming soon. The book is going to be published and it's going to be coming out soon. We throw yearly events, various events with the inner city youth. All right, mama. The notorious Louis Armstrong, 505. You know, this is why I stayed with during my demise. You know. All right, this is where I was down on myself, you know. And they used to call me the unknown because people really didn't know who I was. You know, I was going to speak as Scurry, but the name didn't ring bells, you know, to a few people. Come from a small neighborhood, small school, LIU, wasn't big enough, man. So one day I wore my throwback, people was like, hey, I want that. People didn't really know me, you know, so I'm not a Jordan, I'm not a Larry Bird, I'm not a Magic Johnson. Those Hall of Famers that was well known, so these are top sellers right here. But you can find my throwback on eBay, and once I prove it, you know, to be out there for the neighborhood, for the people that's interested in it. But this is the place here when I had my demise of a car accident in Spain. You know, I played with a Spanish team and I hurt my neck in a car accident, so I started to get discouraged about my career was over. I was forced to retire from the Houston Rockets. During those turbulent times, I played on a team with 5 of myself, you know. I created a legend in my own mind. You know, I was the coach, I was the audience, I was a commissioner, you know. I was conducting interviews with myself, you know, living in a dream with my own self, you know, because I thought basketball, I thought it could never happen to me. You know, I stole, I lied, you know, in order to distort my reality. You know, I wanted the applause to keep coming, you know. Every snort of cocaine, every sip of liquor was hitting the play button, you know. So this is where I lived on the 2nd floor. You know, I would go from the top floor and just go to the house, take a bird bath and be gone, you know. And then I got arrested on Gates and Marcy. And that was when my life just started to, you know, this may sound unorthodox, but that was the best thing that happened to me, the second best thing that happened to me, you know. And it saved my life, you know, and I had a chance to rectify what transpired in my life, you know, and I hatched out a plan to give my story. Personally, I can't play, but I can also involve myself with the innocent youth, tell them what avenues to take and, you know, what road to go down, not to follow my footsteps, you know, go want to be Michael Jordans, Kobe's, and LeBron's, you know, Carmelo Anthony's, you know, just to give back to, you know, to the community. So I formed a team of multifaceted athletes who had promising careers, who also went out and made a bad decision that cost them their freedom and left them in prison. So we are doing things like that for speaking motivational speakers. You know, we have an event coming up in Soul and Hole, the park in 44 on Monroe and Marcus Garvey. You know, and it's another place where I started to grow and develop my game. Sam Worthington, the sheriff, the Scurry brothers, Fly Williams, Pearl Washington. You know, I wish I could take those days back, but I can't. You know, would I change anything about my life? No, maybe the person who I am today. But there's one message I want to give you guys: playing hooky will not benefit you nothing at all, but a setback in your life. Because you'll be dealing with your own bank account. You'll be dealing with contracts that you have to read over again before you sign your life on the line. You can sign your life over to a person.